he brings things that are in the nooks and crannies, things that you forgot about, things that you wanted in your collection, but you forgot about it. Then boom, here comes Tony with it. You're like, I need that. So whenever I have these stash wars with Tony, I'm always like, damn, man, like I never even seen that before. And so I'm really curious to see what other books, because we're doing a top 10 stash war tonight. Tony and Gabriel and myself, we're all going to share 10 books that are our favorite come-ups from this year's 25th anniversary of Baltimore Comic-Con. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my man Tony in. I'm going to bring him in right now. Yo, Tony. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, man? You on Stash Wars Live with everybody?
Yes, sir.
You're on you're on YouTube and IG. Let me see these comments real quick. Talking to you over the years has changed my thought process on books and keeping them raw for six. B-Town KJ, exactly. Keeping them raw like Dirt Dog ODB, baby. I love it. Now, before we get started, Tony, and then I see Pastor Batman is in the mix too. So let's bring him in. Let's bring him in right now. Hey, Gabriel.
How's it going, guys?
Going great, man. Before we get started, we're about to do our Stash Wars right now. But I just wanted to talk about grading for just 1 second, because everybody look at me and, I'm a poster child for breaking slabs, cracking slabs, like, off the top rope, elbow on a slab. You know what I mean? That's me. That's me, right? When is the right time to do a slab? And I would say, hey, when it's something that you feel is special, when you get that tingly feeling and you want to preserve it, that's when you slab it. If it's just a dime a dozen, $1 chuck, don't slab it, dude. It can wait. At least wait till the book has some kind of relevancy, before you start wasting your money. But Bronze Age books, Silver Age books, yes, okay, great. But these moderns and stuff, man, you can wait on it for a little bit, because what if the value goes down in the following year and you wasted more money than the book is worth in slabbing? So just food for thought, guys. Just food for thought. Now, without any further ado, I get off my soapbox and enter the Stash War with these two great gentlemen that was also at Baltimore Comic-Con. And we have some come-ups. So before we even share our books, Tony, we go back and forth all the time. Gabriel, this is our chance to get to know you tonight. I just want to get your initial reflection on Baltimore Comic-Con this year.
I've been going consistently for like the last 10 years. So I mean, it was average in a good, and I mean that in the best possible way, because Baltimore Comic-Con is always at a 10. So okay. I went in expecting a 10 and I got a 10. So
so no slippage.
No slippage. One thing I'm glad that they did is they put my package for my Jim Lee signing right away at 10 a.m. That was awesome. I didn't have to stop or watch the time and then run up there and look at the line. I remember getting my ticket and then asking them, like, hey, when's the Jim Lee signing? They're like, literally right now. The line's right there. I was like, oh my gosh. But it was great. Go ahead and knock that out of the way. But yeah, Baltimore's awesome every year.
Yeah, when I was in line waiting to go into the show, they were like asking, does anybody have Jim Lee passes? Because he's signing right now. And they were pulling people out of line to go get their SIGs. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. Very nice.
So you guys were the platinum guys?
I was a platinum guy.
I was not. I've got Jim Lee the last two or 3 years, and so I was kind of tapped, and I just kind of thought, it seems like I have an opportunity to see him every year. I'm just gonna kind of ride this one, see what other people I can meet.
I got it. So, yeah,
$60 SIG it adds up,
Oh yeah, man, definitely. And believe it or not, guys, Jim Lee didn't Batman get a star on a Walk of Fame or something like that yesterday?
Yeah.
So Jim Lee was signing stuff for free and stuff like that. So when you're from LA, there's opportunities to get stuff. I got so many Jim Lees like for free. This was only the second time in 20 years or so that I've ever paid for him. So it was something that, I felt like I needed to repay the comic gods for. Plus, I had something worth. I had a couple things that was worth the time to do. If I didn't have those books or those items, I probably would have passed as well, Gabriel, to be honest with you. But it was like, oh, I've been waiting to see this cat. Let's go, and then the experience of being at Baltimore for the first time. Tony, you mentioned that it didn't have any slippage. It was par for the course, in other words, right, for you?
Yep.
And for me, being just totally new to the whole process, man, I'm like, yo, this is it. I'm telling all the homies, yo, this is the meetup spot. This is where to be at. What I love about it, and I'm going to repeat it again, man, you can get you some keys raw. Like, that's, to me, that's not something that to take lightly, because on the West Coast, man, most of those books, like when they get them, they'll get them and throw them in the slabs and sell them before the show. You know what I mean? They'll have them already slabbed for the show. So, like, to see the abundance of raw books, like, available, I was astounded. So that was number one. I wasn't really in the hunt for books. I was on a hunt for SIGs. And for me, all right, Tony, were you able to get your SIG total down? Are you a rough SIG total?
I'm still counting. I'm probably going to end up somewhere in the 60s. A low year for me. A low year.
Gabriel, are you a SIG guy? What are you mostly? What's your forte?
I am, but this is what I did. I prepped for about 150 SIGs, and after Friday, I decided I didn't want to carry my cart around anymore. I didn't want to carry a heavy backpack anymore, so I settled with 40, and I was fine with that. And I really enjoyed myself Saturday and Sunday.
So I must be loco then, because I went for the gusto. I had 2 rolling suitcases, a big one, a small one, a backpack, 4 posters, and a artist proof print, ready to rock and roll.
It's just $5 adds up, $10 adds up.
It does.
Man, I feel you.
A show like this, because there are some people that aren't repped, and they do, maybe they'll do three for free. Amanda Connor would do one every day for free, basically. So, I brought something every day. You figure out who's doing it for free and take advantage of that while you can. But, there are some people where I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to get your signature without paying $20. So, Jim Starlin, whoever is, they're getting my money. So.
Okay, so there's the big names, right? But for me, like, I'm about to go oddball real quick, because the person that had the most SIGs from was none of the big name guys. And I was saying that I'm going to have champagne for my campaign. Yeah. And it was Keith Champagne. I broke this dude's hand. I gave him a whole Cheez-It box, Tony. The entire
whole Cheez-It box. Oh, jeez.
The whole Cheez-It box was dedicated to Keith Champagne. Shout out to Keith Champagne, guys. Like, I'll tag him somewhere. Keith Champagne, I went in on him. Why? This dude, between him, Tom Wynn, Christian Alamy, they all shared inking duties over Doug Mankey on Green Lantern. So, and I have every single Green Lantern issue signed by Doug Mankey and Jeff Johns. And so I'm just side questing it. So I was like, I'm looking at the list, and then Tom Wynn was there right next to him, supposedly. There it is. Tom Wynn was there, but he wasn't. And so I brought a whole, Cheez-Its and Goldfish box. I had a Goldfish box, a Costco Goldfish box dedicated to Tom Wynn, and he didn't show up. So I actually had a whole box of just a brick that I was just bringing for no reason. But I was able to leave that in the room after day 1. But yeah, man, I was going hard in the paint, guys. I was not relenting. I was Bowfinger the unrelenting at this show, because I needed to these guys, Garcia Lopez, and it was the Hero Initiative booth. Most of the guys that I was targeting. Yeah, Jim Lee was a pricey one. Anybody at Common Sketch Art is Tim Bones. You know, they $10 chucks all day and up, right? So you go over there, you know, it's like Sonic hitting the spike. You're gonna get dinged with coins, but
In sequential,
it's sequential as well.
$10, most of them.
Yeah, but
I go in there expecting, especially those comic sketch art people, I go in expecting a minimum of $10, and I budgeted for that. But the problem is, like, they'll be signing for like 20 minutes and they'll stop. And they'll come back in 2 hours. They'll sign for 20 minutes and they'll stop. So they're there all day signing, but in reality, they've only been signing for like 40 minutes.
Right. And so for me, I go there if I have to, but for the most part, I hit it the artist alley, the regular old artist alley. Joe Stanton was chill. A lot of those
He had
guys,
nobody in his line all day.
nobody in his line, dude.
Yep.
And so I was there. Garcia Lopez. I met what's his name who did Final Night. Carl Kiesel. I met
Carl
him.
Kessel, yeah.
Carl Kessel. I met him for the first time.
Story.
I was
Carl Story.
Yeah, Carl Story. Oh man, okay, Carl Story. I didn't know this. He only signs in purple.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to art direct him with the pins and stuff. He was like, "Do you mind if I do purple's my thing?" I was like, "Is it?" I was like, "I'm cool though." But those paint markers, man, they're scary, bro. I was like, I don't want no accidents, so I'm gonna leave everything all over your prints, all over everything until they dry, because you know this is these are my Mandalorians here, man. So I have all these little purple purple signatures on my Mandalorians by Carl Story, which I thought was cool. It pops. George's Genty, he signs in like a green, so it works. I'll take it, and I got a chance to chop it up with those two folks. But I really love this show. To me, this show and Philly Fan Expo kind of opened my eyes. Philly Fan Expo was a surprise because I got a lot of like negative stuff about it, but when I got there, I was like, oh snap. This one was like, yo, go to Baltimore. Wow, this is we gotta go every year. And the only disappointment, guys, is that Jerry Ordway didn't show up.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Luckily, I was able to leave those books home right in nick of time, but he was like probably number 2 on my list.
Yeah, he's probably number 2 on my list as well. I was about ready to drop some coin on Jerry Ordway.
For sure, dude. Like he was somebody I still want to meet, and so hopefully, maybe 2025, round 2, and so so my question to you guys before we get into the stash war is last thing. What's the next show you guys are going to? What's the next show in your crosshairs? Is this the last show for the season?
New York.
New York. Okay.
That'd be cool.
3 weeks, New York.
Very nice. I got to get to New York. But unfortunately for me, for this year, it's just a couple of local mom and pop cons local to me. Minimal talent. I'm just chasing 1 or 2 people, and that's pretty much it. Baltimore is the Super Bowl for me every year.
Man, I'm like, I don't know what's the Super Bowl for me. I think I'm going to have to wait until the end of the year because, like,
you go to so many, it'd be really hard to tell.
I went to C2E2 Baltimore Mega, Philly, but Baltimore.
I'm considering Heroes Con next year.
Me too.
See, I've never been to Heroes, but I heard that Heroes in Baltimore are like sister cons. I mean, Fan Expo has nothing on Baltimore.
Sure.
I think you said it right earlier when you said Kumbaya. I mean, Baltimore is so chill. You can get around easily. You can get from one end to the other end quickly without running into people. You can stand in line and there's room to breathe. Fan Expo is not that way. It's just not.
No, I got Southern Common Geeks. Heroes or Bust over here on IG. Honorable Villain Joe Stanton. Joe Stanton is the best. DC Shinte Comic Sketch Art. meme.
Yeah.
My fear for LA Comic Con for LA for Joel Jones. So Joel Jones is going to be there, and my man threw a box at him. I threw a box at him, and so did Endless. The Endless Collection threw a box at Keith Champagne. I'm talking about Cheez-It box status. Okay, so we did enough talking. I want to get into this, guys. Who wants to go first? And so let's do it.
All right, I guess I'll go first.
Great, we'll hop back. But while he hops back on, there we go.
Sorry,
there we go.
I was gonna say, as soon as he says he wants to go first, he bounces.
So this is how we're gonna do this. You can do it in any order and how you want to do it. One, but we're gonna go one at a time. And these are your 10 best grabs from Baltimore Comic Con, and you got to tell the Stash fam why you picked it as well. And so now we figure out who wants to go first.
I can take a swing at it.
All right, let's go.
And I'm doing things a little bit different tonight. I'm busting out the transitions, so hopefully this will work. And there we go.
There we go.
So my first pick, and the reason I chose it is because I've been chasing this dude forever, and I just cannot get them. Finally, I got him. I went with Liam Sharp, Green Lantern #1, Frank Whitley cover. And he has like the most unique signature of all time. It's like scribble. It's not even a signature. I don't even know what you would call it. But yeah, this one was a no-brainer for me. I brought a whole bunch of Liam Sharp, and I just love the Green Lantern. I love the way this looks. It looks great. I'm gonna keep getting it signed.
Okay, yes, that was a no-brainer for you.
No-brainer for me.
Give me 1 second. Let me 1 second. Okay. Okay. All right. So Liam Sharp, Green Lantern #1, variant cover. I think that's cover B, the Frank Quietly cover.
Yep.
And the signature. Now, if you look at a certain way, it says Liam.
Hey, yeah, okay, I see it now.
Thank you. Welcome to Sixth Layer. Yeah, I got that. But if you look at them on print, if you look at the sign when they're printed, it looks more like Liam, even more. But it's artsy fartsy Liam, though. It's artsy fartsy Liam. All right, Gabriel, are you ready?
All right. First up, I've got a hardcover of Lonely City here, and so of course I've got. Whoa!
There we go.
Oh wow!
A little remark in there for me. Cliff Chang. I saw him last year at Baltimore, at New York, but I forgot my hardcover, and so anyways, I brought it this time.
Open it up again. Let me see Cliff Chang. I don't have a Cliff Chang, Gabriel. I don't have a Cliff Chang stick.
I've got a couple Cliff Changs.
I don't. I just want to say, okay, thank you, man. I've never seen that stick before. You know what? I didn't see Cliff. I mean, I saw Cliff Chang, but I didn't go to his table. I brought so much stuff. If I see him at Green Arrow stuff from back.
I don't know if you read this book or not, but he wrote it. He drew it. He's just a great artist and good story. It's kind of like a future, what if kind of whatever happens to Catwoman after Batman's out of the picture kind of thing. It's kind of cool.
Oh, cool. Well, for me, my first up, I finally got this finished.
Oh, beautiful.
It's the Uncanny X-Men versus the New Teen Titans. It was already signed by Chris Claremont, but I was trying to get my man Walter Simonson's on it. And I got to say this, guys, the one thing tried to spook me on was the Walt Simonson line. Man, make sure you do that Walt Simonson line. Man, y'all don't know about the 6 layers. All right. That was easy. That was barbecue chicken. That was chicken nuggets on a Sunday morning. Jeez. That was nothing. Baltimore, man, this was nothing.
How long were you in line for?
I mean, forever, because you had to wait. We were in line. We were in line, but we had to wait because he wasn't like just there. But we was up and out. You know, doing like John Elway, pointing at the defense of the coverage and stuff. You know what I mean? That's what we were. We were there, knocked that out. The funny thing about the Walter Simonson line, I don't know. Let me know, guys. Was he sketching? I know he wasn't sketching on Friday. He said he wasn't sketching. Do you guys know if he was sketching on over the weekend?
Sure.
He was not. He had like 5 panels that day, so he made a few appearances and signed a few books, but he was in panels.
Okay, yeah. So, to me, that was my biggest anxiety of the whole weekend. Believe it or not, was getting that book signed. So when I got it signed, it was the first book I got signed. When I got it signed, I was like, this was easy. I'm telling you guys, go to San Diego Comic-Con, and then you guys, either 2 things are going to happen. Either it's going to turn you all the way off because it's like all these semiotic cues you got to follow, or it's going to turn you on and you're going to turn into a full-on junkie. I'm telling you. The 2 things. And so this, like all the other shows, are just like, okay, if you just follow the rules, everything works. San Diego, ain't no, like, there's no, okay, if you're early or if you're this, nah, man. It's like you got to do all kind of crap. And I'm hitting these shows across the country. I'm like, okay, if it's like this, then I'm going to have a good time. I can put my books away because, I hit Baltimore really hard because I never been there before and I saw these guys for the first time. But now, probably going to be like a backpack or, dare I say, just 1 rolling suitcase versus 2. All right, Tony.
Let's see. Number 2. Let's check it out. Number 2 is I'm a really big fan of this team. And I had this convention foil exclusive, so I was like, man, I have to. And I chose Suicide Squad convention foil. Number 1, Jim Lee's signature's right here up at the top. So that's one that I went with. A big Jim Lee cover.
So you got it.
I got it. It made the cut.
It made the cut. I was wondering if it was or not. It made the cut. The Suicide Squad. That's the convention exclusive. Signed by Jim Lee. Bam.
Jim Lee.
Man. All right, Gabriel.
All right.
Well, yours.
As you can see, you can probably tell I do a lot of omnibus. I got a lot of hardcovers that I like to get signed, take around the shows. So, anyways, this is Batman 66 omnibus.
Oh,
and
cool.
I was at a con earlier this year, and I got the head writer, Jeff Parker, to sign, and he did a little remark in it. And so I took it to Baltimore here, and I got a few other signatures in it. So I got Jose Garcia Lopez in here. I've got Craig Russo. I've got Joel Jones did a little remark in here too. And I got Andy Price. Now, Andy Price, I don't think he did a whole lot in this book, but he's done a lot of 66 stuff. He had some at his booth, and I was talking to KD Cook, and I just handed him my book. I wasn't even thinking, and he signed it and did a little remark in it. I wasn't going to complain about it, but when he was signing, I was like, oh, no. I don't think he actually was in that book, but it's all good. Yeah, have you ever done that? You ever got something signed from somebody that wasn't on the book?
Oh, bro, we call those bastards, and that's a category. For sure. It happens a lot. Bro, okay.
I got Finch on the Favik book, and I was beating myself up about that one.
Before we move on, can you open that book one more time? I just want people to see that. That's sick. So, Stats Fam, while Gabriel lift it up a little bit, while Gabriel is showing this, tell us in the comments if you do little side quests like this where you get an Omni and you get remarks on it, and let us know in the comments, man. I think that's fantastic, Gabriel.
Well, the cool thing about these is a lot of the artists, when they see the big books, sometimes they'll put a little remark in there for free just because, hey, you hauled this thing around all day, and I mean, they appreciate it. Some of them have never even seen these omnibus, so they kind of like to flip through it and see what it's like. So
some of them don't even charge for the signature for the omnibus because they know you're not going to flip it.
yeah, that's right.
There you go. So I would like to know in the comments, Stash Fam, if you collect omnibuses and if you get those signed when you go to shows and get remarks and cool things, because sometimes you're right. They do add a little sugar and spice inside those covers of the hardcover. All right. Now, this for me, guys, I've been slipping on my pimping with this for years, but I finally got it done. This is Batman and Robin. This is volume 1. So this is the first time Batman and Robin's ever had a title. This is the variant cover by J.G. Jones. And so I got J.G. Jones to sign this. But this is already signed by Grant Morrison. Shout out to the Endless Collection. He took this to Lake Como and got Frank Quietly to sign this. And then the Houdini of Hugh signed this. This is one of those sick covers. But it's finally done. It's finally done. I could put this to rest. And shout out to Crafty Comics on these clear boards, because these boards are awesome when you're trying to display cool things. And yeah, so this is my other pick. I've been wanting to get this done forever and a day. Now I think it's 4 times signed. Batman and Robin, #1, volume 1. Finally, I mean, I saw J.G. Jones last year and forgot that. I've been forgetting that forever. And so, yeah. What's next, Tony?
Oh man, this book was the most signatures I collected on for this convention. So I got a couple people on it, and it came with a semi-negative experience that I've never had before. And I'll get into that.
Okay.
So I went with the Power Girl Uncovered kind of. It's like a collection of art more than it's a comic book. Up at her forehead right here, you can't really tell, but Joe Stanton signed this one. I got Babs Tarr. I got cover artist Josh Swaby, Jim Lee, and Ron Rundell. One of these people, I'll let you kind of guess, wasn't particularly thrilled to have this book signed. I felt more like I was inconveniencing this person. I won't say who, but somebody on this book. There's a signature on here. And they weren't happy to sign it, it seems like. But that's okay. Maybe they were just having a bad day and I just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But Power Girl Uncovered. Multiple sigs on this one for this con. So, again, this is the most signatures I collected on one book at this con. It's a great book. I like it.
Man. Okay, so all right, so off camera, you gotta tell me who it is.
I'll tell you the story.
Yes, yeah. Okay, because I gotta find out what happened, man. So okay, so you had a little snafu there. All right, over here, JG is a G. I gotta look at Instagram as well, the Instagram comments. And then Golden Lasso. I like this hardcover Crisis of Infinite Earth by Marv Wolfman and George Perez, both with inscriptions, and then had Alex Ross sign. Oh my God, that is crazy. That is wild. All right.
Lasso's got a very unique collection. If you ever get a chance to talk to him about his collection, dude, I won't spoil it for you, but he has some stuff that you didn't even know was out there.
Wow. Okay, Gabriel.
All right, speaking of Joe Satin, I got in a pink.
Oh, that actually kind of works.
I
like that.
That's fresh.
And if I see Sizwick at Baltimore, at New York, I might get a purple. But anyways, the pink I thought would pop with the dress and the.
Yeah, that was a good call. Was that your decision or his?
That was mine. Yeah, I bought that. But I also got 2.
Oh,
there we go.
I've never seen a pink signature on a Batman book work. That's the first time I've ever seen that work.
Yeah, I thought it was. I don't know. I thought it was It worked. Yeah, I just thought it worked.
Yeah, that's very unique.
I've ever taken the same book, two of the same book to the same person to sign. I always feel like people who do that, they're definitely flipping it, you know.
Right.
He didn't seem to mind at all, so it's cool.
I like his signature. It's nice, it's clean, it's concise.
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it.
Eat it.
So we're concluding round 3. This next book is my most signed book, and it's funny, Tony. We kind of think alike. This one kind of comes with somewhat an, I won't say a negative experience, but kind of. All right. Now this book is probably like 25 times signed now, or 26 or 27. This is Detective Comics 1000 Midnight variant. It is laid to rest. This book will not get signed any further, especially after the Steve Epting. You can't even see it, but if you look right there, hold on.
There it is.
Yeah, it's kind of chippy looking.
Yeah.
That's because of those damn paint markers, man. Hey, Sharpie should be the only brand at any signing. Why? Here's the thing. It's a death and a curse. They're perpetually dry, right? So a metallic can pop, or it can look like freaking stardust, right? We don't want it to look like stardust. We want it to look juicy, right? But these little flaky things take 5-10 minutes to dry. And then so you're sitting there and then you feel like a jerk because you don't want to move, right? Until it's like dry. And then so like because people are waiting, right? And then you put it in a bag and then it sticks to the bag, and then you take it out the bag and then it flakes off. So it didn't smear, it just dried inside the bag. It didn't flatten either. It didn't sometimes if it's wet, it'll spread, right? The bag will make it spread. It didn't even do that. It looked perfectly okay in the bag. It looked like it was 100% dry. And then it wasn't until I pulled it out the bag that it felt kind of like stuck, and I went and I separated, and some of the paint was inside the bag, and I was like, damn. And I tried to give him my goal. So I try to be nice, but it's like, hey, especially, you know what? Guys, we're on to something here. Now, if you spend money, it should be your choice of pen. No?
Well, I think I would agree, yes, especially if you bring the pen. Like, I want you to use this pen. I don't see an issue with it. During COVID, I know some people during COVID, for sanitation reasons, they were like, yeah, no way.
Bro, I'll bring a hand sanitizer. Yeah. I'll bring some wipes, some baby wipes, whatever you need, bro. Whatever you need, I will facilitate this. But these art pens, and this is not a piece. This is on some glossy stuff. It's like, yo, man, use the Sharpie, man, and I'll take my chances with the fucking ashy ass gold. Okay, I will take my chances with this dry ass gold. I will. This stuff here, I'm gonna look at this. It's not quite a bastard. It's not quite a bastard, guys, but it's just like, dude, when you look at it, I'm gonna have to put it like far in the distance so it can look like a graffiti wall. I gotta keep it out of arm's length so people can't like see that little flaky thing, because it's gonna annoy the living daylights out of me. So that is round 3. Now we're on round 4.
Yeah. So sticking with a ton of signatures on books.
Okay.
I decided to continue my tradition on my hunt and add Carl Kessel right here. Which brings the total to this book up to 17, I think. 17 or 18 on this one. Including some legends who are no longer with us. So this book is quickly becoming not only a work of art, but a very unique piece of history.
That's a straight up banger.
It is. And every time, like what you said, you want to stop picking up a book or chasing a person. Like, I've technically retired this so many times, and I just keep digging it back up from the grave to tattoo somebody else's name on it.
Yeah, man. That's fire. It's funny. We just interviewed Jim Starlin like earlier today, and we were talking about those books, the Marvel version of that book, and then the DC version. And so that's going to be coming out in a couple weeks. But yeah, we just interviewed Jim Starlin, and guess what? That was one of the benefits of Baltimore Comic-Con. We got a chance to see Jim Starlin. I saw him a few times, but the environment there was so welcoming to do stuff like that. So yeah, man. All right, Gabriel.
All right, I got this Batman and Robin. I took it to Chicago this year, and I got Tomasi, Andy Kubert, Pat Gleason to sign it.
Oh, wow.
So I took it to get Keith Champagne to sign. And I love the signature. He's got a little champagne glass on there.
Yep.
Dude,
So
that's pretty funny.
it's kind of cool to get those.
Champagne for my campaign.
But the only thing with this book was carrying this huge book around for one signature. So
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, man. I want to get that. I want to get that book. I've been eyeballing that at my local shop, and I'm going to get it because I want to get Pete Tomasi on it. One of my side quests is this year I had Patrick Gleason sign every issue of Batman and Robin, the new 52.
Wow.
And so I told Peter Tomasi at Baltimore, I was like, I did it like a wrestler, but I'm not going to do it like that now. But then when I was talking to him, I was like, this is going to be epic. I was like, next time you see me, it's going to be epic. You're going to sign all of this stuff. Blah, blah, blah. It was
something you're going to prepay up front.
So when you hand them a short box, do they charge you for every sig?
Okay. Now we're going to ask a PhD question tonight. Okay, I will tell you this. Venue matters, environment matters, context matter. You got to do all these at the right time, and we will unpack that at a later date. But some of this stuff is like asking Emeril Lagasse how to make his gumbo. You know what I mean? It's like because sometimes there's situations that happen, and as you start being a con hooligan from coast to coast, things happen. But for the most part, the best thing to do in all of comics is signature hunting, is getting books signed at a comic book shop. So follow those. So like to me, those are equally as important as the conventions, because you can find something like, okay, like for example, like Jim Lee was like in Houston or something like that. That's not too far, but you gotta understand when he's at these shops, he's signing freebies, bro. So it's kind of worth it. It's like, okay, so if he's a few hours away, and all you're paying is gas, and you're not paying the Jim Lee Baltimore Comic-Con price, and you're getting like whole Hush run done, like it's a no-brainer to me. So I would do that. Like when I was living in LA, I would drive to San Diego when he was doing lectures and stuff. Like, yeah, man, you gotta catch these guys, like, you know, at oddball times. Otherwise, it's like going grocery shopping at 7-Eleven. And I'm gonna say it like that. You can't, I'm just gonna say it like that. You can't go grocery shopping at 7-Eleven. So if you expect to get all your stuff done at Baltimore Comic-Con, and so
New York's worse. New
York is worse. Yes, I will tell you this though, guys. Of all the shows in all of the land, the show that you would get the most free signature, 100. Really? I met Andy Kubert for the first time. I got 49 right there.
Oh, he's charging $50 a sig,
dude. Yeah, see, it's see now. Okay, the way San Diego is, it's about. See, I was hitting him when he was still doing. I think they just were finished up the DK3 like hardcovers and stuff like that. They just finished that, but it's like the new guys. Like so, right now it's like Snyder and whoever, Nick Dakota and all those guys that are doing the Absolute Universe. Those would be the people at San Diego. So you load up on all the current people, and so that's what San Diego is about. And so when I talk about all the war stories, it was when those guys. I was hitting Grant Morrison when he was doing Final Crisis. I was hitting Kubert, Tony Daniel, and all those guys when they were at the DC booth for free, you know. And so that's what San Diego brings that I haven't seen any other convention bring, where they have like publishers that have booths and they bring in the talent and you just go and just bring all your stuff related to that publisher.
Yeah. New York
So,
doesn't do that anymore.
No, okay. Midway point. Tony, what you got?
Okay, so the reason I chose this book is because I had a whole bunch of this run signed, not run, but the previous volume signed by this person. So I decided I wasn't really going to continue doing that. I'll just get some number ones for now. That one was Batman Beyond Rebirth. I got all the number one signed. This is standing in place for all of them. Dan Jurgens, probably one of the nicest guys in the industry. I love chatting with him. His wife is really cool too. He's from the neck of the woods that I'm from, so we like to talk about life back in the Midwest. So anytime there's a Dan Jurgens, whether I need it or not, I'm finding something to get him to sign every time.
Dan Jurgens, absolute legend, and with that, one of the people that I met for the first time was Brett Breeding, and he was somebody,
another nice guy. Yep.
That he was somebody that I because Dan, he'll go to San Diego or WonderCon and stuff like that, but never met Brett Breeding. So all those Death of the Superman era stuff, I was happy about. All right, round 5, Gabriel.
All right, this one's gonna seem ridiculous. I got the artist edition of Mazzucchelli's Batman Year One.
Would you have signed that? Wow,
I've never even seen that before. That's incredible.
Yeah, it came out this summer, and when I bought it, I bought one of the limited Mazzucchelli signed ones.
Oh,
dude,
what?
Huge.
What?
So this book is awesome, by the way. Just to flip these giant pages of Mazzucchelli artwork. So he signed the bottom here. This one's number 171 of 250. So yeah, I had to kind of I had to convince myself to get somebody else to sign this that wasn't, of course, the writer, but I did get Scott Dunneber to sign this one as well. He was there for Heroes Initiative, and his signature isn't all that pretty, and I'm sure not a lot of people get him to sign a book like this. But he's the one who worked for IDW and put all these together. He basically created this format of book, and so I'm glad to have him sign it. He's moving on to do his own publishing, so I'm excited for that to happen. But awesome book, and I'm glad to have brought it out there. He was impressed to see somebody bring it. I think he said it was the first time he signed one of them. So,
man, Gabriel, how did you bring all these big ass books with you, bro? Like, I'm trying to figure it out.
I live really close to Baltimore, so
okay.
So basically, I brought in some of the omnibus that I only needed one sig on, and I was in and out of there in an hour. Went back to the car and switched my load. So,
man, that's crazy. Tony, yeah, that artist edition by Mazzucchelli, that's been like literally the talk of the summer, like in the artist community. I've never seen so many artists get so giddy about something, like owning that book. And so I had to watch a YouTube video just to I had to ask a friend, like, dude, what's up with artist edition? And I had to get educated on artist editions and all of that jazz. But
yeah,
go ahead, Gabriel.
Scans of the original artwork, every page. Mazzucchelli has every single one of them, I think. And so the pages are the size of the comic pages that he drew on. So you see some rough sketches. You see how he kind of spliced things together. There's some layovers and stuff. It's a really cool book.
Man, that is insane. Moving along.
That's huge.
I wanted to do something a little bit different because this is like another side quest book. I'm all about bat trivia and bat history. Whenever you see this logo on my books, it's the first time someone did Batman. So that's why I use my logos. whenever you see logos on my book, it's because it's the first time someone has did Batman. This is the first Joelle Jones issue of Batman, her first cover on Batman, and she's the only the second woman to pencil Batman, but the first woman to do Batman like an actual story arc, like to do like multiple issues in succession. And she's the only one still to this day. And so I saw that she was going to be at Baltimore, and I had to get this done. And I asked her on Sunday, the last day, to bless it with the Bat logo, and she obliged.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's cool.
All right, Tony. Round 6. We're on the back half. We're on the back half.
Yes. Where there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
This next one was the first time I had met this person in any con. She was very nice, even though she's not necessarily one of my favorite writers, but that's okay. She's still a wonderful, wonderful human being. And I went with G. Willow Wilson on this Warren Lau Poison Ivy #1. And she said out of all of the Poison Ivy covers that this one was her absolute favorite. And of course it is. This is an amazing cover. This is probably everybody's favorite cover in a good way. So Joe Willow Wilson on Poison Ivy #1.
Is that an R-Germ cover?
No, I believe this is a Warren Lau. Yep.
Okay, Warren Lau. Okay, Warren Lau. Okay, cool. I dig that. You know what? I don't think I even met G. Willow Wilson. I got to meet her one day.
Very nice. Didn't charge me a dime. Didn't have a donation bucket.
Yep.
I tried to give her a couple of bucks, and she's like, "I'm just here enjoying myself. It's no charge." Now she said she would have charged if you bring like, "Hey, I have everything you've ever published.
Mm-hmm.
You want to sign?" And she's like, "Okay, let's haggle the price." But $1 or $2, no big deal.
Perfect, man. All right, man. What are you bringing, man? You bringing comics by the ton tonight, Gabriel.
I feel like every time we go to him, he's got an even bigger book than he did before.
I'm moving more into artwork, actually. I saw this at Ollie's. I don't know if you guys have Ollie's wherever you live.
Love Ollie's.
Okay, so this was one of those, $5 hardback books that I got. The sequential art of Amanda Connor. Because last time I saw Amanda, I didn't have anything for her to sign a Minted Link. So I found this and I picked it up. I said, well, next time I see her, I'll get her to sign it. And she did a nice little free remark in there for me.
Oh, dude, that is so cool.
Yeah.
That is sick. And that's PG, right? That's Power Girl.
That's Power Girl, yeah. Really, really nice signature. And like I said, she's one that, she'll sign one thing for free. So I got 2 SIGs from her.
Ollie's is like a little honey hole. I'm only like, if I think I know where you live, I'm only like an hour, maybe a little over an hour from you. And I have 2 Ollie's here, and they're both hot garbage. Because someone goes in and just tears up the comic book section. Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll find a gem, but Ollie's is very underrated for cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next one, I was looking at my stack and I'm like, okay, like we're on number 6 right now, not number 5, and I think I put an extra in there, but I'll keep it up to this. This is one of my favorite books. I never met Lee Weeks before. I don't think we hit it off too well, to be honest with you, but nonetheless, he signed this. This right here is just insane. This is Alex Ross's first ever Batman cover. And this is riddled with Hall of Fame talent, including Alex Ross. You got Alex Ross here, Frank Miller, Denny O'Neil, Gene Ha, Mike Mignola, Lee Weeks, Joe Quesada, and Walter Simonson on this. This is hot, like charcoal straight out the grill right here, man. This is one of the books that I wanted to get done, and I'm glad that I did. And so I think that was like the second or third book I got signed at the show, other than the Uncanny Teen Titans. So yeah, I'm happy about that. Tony, we are getting down to the final 4.
Yes. I've gotten this one signed previously by Ron Mars, and another one of those situations where You know, I don't really have anything pressing I need signed by this individual, but I'm doing it anyway because, why not? And they signed all 4 of them, and that is DC versus Marvel. I'm circling all the way back around to Dan Jurgens. Again, probably one of my favorite people so far in the industry, and I just love chatting with him. So 2 signatures in on this book. Yeah, Dan Jurgens. I like the way he signed it using the white paint pen. Looks very minimalistic, and it's beautiful.
Man, that is fantastic. I see you already have Ron Morris on there already. And so would you, because Ron Morris was at, he was there too, right?
Yes, but I had gotten that one signed at a previous
Okay.
Baltimore Comic-Con last year, I think it was, or 2 years ago.
Man, that's a classic right there. Gabriel, what you got? We're down to our final 4.
Okay. Here's Batman 50, the wedding issue.
Yes, sir.
The 2 that I got on here this time are Jose Luis Garcia Lopez and Joel Jones.
That's fantastic. That in common. I got that book signed at the show as well. I got Garcia Lopez on it, and I got Garcia Lopez and Lee Weeks on it, right? So Lee Weeks signed it. It was kind of an awkward signing. And then, like, I was like, I don't know how.
What can I ask? Or maybe I should ask Australia. I'm curious what was off about Lee Weeks.
It wasn't.
He's a nice guy.
No, it wasn't nothing wrong with Lee Weeks. It's just that we just didn't hit it off. That's all. I just think there was like, come on, like, he didn't do nothing wrong at all. Like he was fine. Like everything was good. It was just like a weird, like it was a weird moment. But it was cool. Like, he didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't a jerk. He was fine. Like he's an ultra nice guy. But when I had Garcia Lopez sign it, he signed over Lee Weeks. So like the E and the Z, and that Z goes like long, it kind of bled into Lee Weeks. But I read so mine, so like yours, let me see yours again, Gabriel.
Okay, I got Raphael Albuquerque, Mitch Gerrits, Jim Lee,
Lee Weeks, Brad Anderson,
James
Tom
Tynion.
Yeah. So I got all those people. I think I have that book like maybe like 19 or 20 times signed. So like there's no room for it. Like there's no room for it. I can pull it out, but I don't want it. It's like completely all. The one thing I do like is all silver. So you can't really tell, but it's like no room for. But that book also has Neil Adams and Tim Sale on it. So it was like the last time I met them. So that's why I keep that book alive. And it's a bastard, but it's my favorite bastard because it's signed by Jim Lee twice. So
that's a unique birth defect.
It pissed me off, but he wasn't supposed to sign it twice though. It was weird. It's like I don't like those signings where if they're like right next to each other and they pass it to each other because like stuff happens, dude. Like because what if the guy next to him already had signed the book already, and then he passed it before you can say no because you have other books that are getting signed, right? You have a stack of books and they just passing it, and you got to look at this guy and the books that's still getting signed. It's a mess. So what I do now, Stash Fam, here's a tip: I piecemeal. So now I feed you the book one by one, so I can have control over like where it goes, especially because I'm telling you, the more people. Like when you do these signings with like 3 people and they're just signing things, like, oh man, books like that, Greg Capullo and Snyder, killing my stuff, dude, killing it. Like triple. I got 2 Snyder books with 2 signatures on them. So I don't even pay attention. I got a Capullo on a JR book, like just wild. I'm sorry, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So I'm down to 1, 2. The last 4 ones. Okay, I got my 4. Here we go. All right, here we go. It was hard to pick these 4 guys. I swear. I don't know about you guys. I had a rough time, but Tony just made the cut. You saw this in our pre Baltimore prep. This has George Perez, Jeff Johns, Phil Jimenez, and now Jim Lee. So this is one of the books that was absolutely making it, and I followed your advice, Tony. So I was definitely going to listen to that. I have to listen to the Signature King on that one. That's a no-brainer. Okay, last three, guys. Woo.
Yes. So this one was when I realized this person worked on this book and was coming to Baltimore Comic-Con, I'm like, man, I really got to get them to sign this book because I have every variant of number one I could possibly find. So let me get the coolest signature on the coolest book. The King Shark 1 in 500 free comic book day exclusive. Tony Cordos. This is another first for me. Never met him before. Very nice guy. Signed all my stuff for I think he charged me $1 a piece. So he signed all my stuff for less than $10. So couldn't be happier. And it all went to the Here Initiative, which I absolutely don't mind at all. But I just love
Who's that? Scott Collins?
Yeah, Scott Collins. Okay. What did I say? Tony Cordos? Yeah, it was Scott Collins. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, that looks like Scott Collins' signature.
It's a Scott Collins. I'm sorry. But yeah, this was an awesome book to sign. 1 in 500.
I've never seen that one. See, I was just talking about you before you came on the show, and I was like, dude, Tony always busts out a book whenever we do these where I'd never even seen. And there you go. I've seen that cover, but I've seen it as the free comic book day cover with a colored cover with the shark. I've never seen a sketch variant foil of all things. So that's crazy. All right. We're down to our final three, Gabriel. Jeez.
All right. This probably doesn't mean much to anybody else but me, but after my first Baltimore Comic-Con, I think it was in 2019, I think, I discovered Katie Cook, and she does these little doodles for $10 each. This year, when I finally was able to get something from her, I mean, every year something has come up and interrupted it, but this year I finally got her. She did raise her prices, but it's okay because she, she's had a lot of health concerns this year. But anyways, I got this ongoing jam piece. I'm just going to keep contributing to it every time I see her. And I told her that when I got her to work on it, but just to watch her sit there and doodle and get her watercolors out, and she just goes to town, and she's clever. She's funny. And, all of her little doodles are just really great to watch.
That's awesome. How long did that take her to do? Did you have to sit there and wait for it or come back for it later?
Yeah, you wait for it. So you stand in line. It's a long line because people sit there and watch her. But she'll only do 2 characters at a time. And some people, they'll bring her a piece of paper and she'll do it, and then they'll bring it back and she'll say, well, I didn't know you were going to add to this. So I just kind of told her up front. I said, yeah, I'm hoping to fill this up front and back with all kinds of Batman characters. She's like, that's very helpful. That'll help me plan, what I'm doing. So first I got Clayface and Batman. Then you got to get back in line if you want more. So then I kind of came back a few hours later and got Robin and Two-Face.
That's awesome.
And if you see her, I'll give you this hint. Don't try to see her on the last day, because halfway through the day she'll pack up and she won't, she's got a flight, so she's not going to be getting her watercolors out. She'll sit there and she'll sign books, but she won't do any doodles or anything. So yeah, great little project. $20 a character, and it's kind of cool.
All right, my final three. Now, this one here, when I was preparing for Baltimore, and I was looking at the list, and I was like, man, this list is crazy. But when I started preparing for Joe Staton, I didn't realize how many bangers I had. I was like, okay, I got some Green Lanterns. I'll go back. So I was kind of not respecting my guy. You know what I mean? And so when I went and did the knowledge and started researching on what he had, I was like, wait a minute, I got major heat. And the best one for me out of all of this, holler if you've seen this before, The Untold Legend of Batman, signed by Joe Staton, Lynn Wein, and Garcia Lopez. This is issue 3. Now, this is like a legendary type story. This is the first ever Batman miniseries, by the way. So this is part 3. Garcia Lopez did all 3 covers. I had him sign them. I had my friend um, years ago at Baltimore, which is why I wanted to go so bad. But also, Lynn Wein. But also, book number 1 is the first time John Byrne has ever did a DC story. But this is probably the most iconic cover of the 3 covers of this storyline. They also made this into like a read and play along, like those little record players. And so there's a version of these that are smaller and miniature. But this is the first printing. So like you'll see somebody with this, but triple sign, I don't think so. So I never thought in a million years I would add another signature to this. So the fact that I did, this made the cut.
That's pretty awesome.
All right. Here we go. Last 2. Tony.
Yeah. So this one kind of didn't end up as epic as I wanted due to some cancellations. And, a lot of people canceled to attend the services for John Cassidy. Totally understandable. Not mad about it. But that's okay. We'll get him next year. So this one only got signed once. I was hoping to get 2 and maybe slab it. I don't know. But I went with the Absolute Power Justice League of America cover by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
Ooh.
Absolute Power number 1. This is from the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I had someone boots on the ground snag me a copy, and then I got another copy, so I have 2 copies of this now.
That is sick.
So yeah, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez on the cover. Was hoping to get Mark Waid to sign it, but hey, I'll take what I can get. But yeah, I definitely I'm a sucker for foils, obviously. So this one was an easy pick.
Man, you weren't lying. You are the royal of foils, man. Jeez Louise. I mean, you coming with the heat, man. I mean, every time you show me a book, it's like a mirror. I see myself.
Yeah, right.
All right, we're down to our last 2, Gabriel. What's up?
I've always wanted to meet Michael Cho, and so I don't really get to any cons that he's at. He always goes to Heroes, and maybe he does 1 or 2 other ones. But anyways, I've only been in this a few years, and I've always wanted to meet Michael Cho, so I got some original art.
That's awesome.
It's what he calls warm-up sketches, but I got three different poses for Batman. Really love his style, his artwork, his line drop style, and yeah, I'm really, really happy with this.
Sure.
I'm gonna frame this and put it somewhere.
I'm happy with it too. Wow. Okay, so that was a part of Michael Cho's like portfolio, and you were able to pull it out.
Yeah, he doesn't do any sketches. He might do a little doodle for kids. He said under 12, but nothing for anybody else, and that's okay. But it makes it more, worth spending the money. So,
man, I love his style. When I visited his booth, I don't think I even had anything, but I just wanted to see. And it looks like almost printed. It's so like detailed and just sharp, and it's just great.
Darwin Cook kind of, I don't know, all the right things. That's what it is.
Yes, I 100% agree. Okay, so I'm down to my final 2, and these are doozies. Here we go. All right, so this one is kind of a twofer. Fan Expo Toronto. A buddy of mine, Eric, shout out to Kira Graded out there in the IG world. He was the boots on the ground in Toronto. He's a big Jason Fabot guy, and he was able to hook this up, right? So I got this on Saturday at the show. I got this Saturday at Baltimore Comic-Con, and I was like, oh my God. And you notice it's already signed by Jeff Johns and Brad Anderson. So at the Fan Expo, Jason Fabok only had 2 of these, a Batman and a Joker, right? And Eric knew the person that picked up the Batman. he was in line first, and he asked me which one I wanted, and I said, "Give me the Joker." Right. So Saturday at Baltimore, I meet up with my boy Eric, and he hands me my book. Right. Sunday, as I'm, killing time, looking at Anthony's comics or whatever, and I'm looking at a Batman commission folder or something like that, and lo and behold, the other one is there. Now, yes, now there's only 2 of these. Now, here's a shameless plug. I just interviewed Jason Fabok a couple days ago. Okay, so that's going to be on the show next week, Stats Fam. That's right. Jason Fabok will be on the 6th Layer station next week, and we talk about this. And so he's only did 2 of these. And what are the odds, guys, that I'm at a show? These were at Toronto, okay? And what are the odds that I get the Joker on a Saturday, and I'm just thumbing through and then blindly find it at Anthony Comics. Shout out to Anthony's Comics. I can't believe it, and there are only 2. And so that, I mean, wow. And so now I'm on a hunt for Jeff Johns and Brad Anderson all over.
now you got to get a Batgirl and a Nightwing.
Bruh, and so here's my thing. You're going to be my eyeballs, Gabriel. You're going to New York. He might do this again with the other heroes. So let me know.
All right.
Because he said he's experimenting. And so basically, in the interview, he was talking about the methodology and how he was working on those remarks and stuff. It's a really good thing. So I don't think he's shying away from them. This was the first experiment, but I don't think those are going away anytime soon unless it's not to. Now, don't get me wrong, selfishly, as a collector, I wouldn't mind them saying, you know what, I'm done with that. I'm doing Rook. That's my villain laugh. Okay, now, Tony,
is number 10.
This is it. This is the last one right here, man. What you got?
Yes. Last, but by all means, certainly not least. So this artist, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, did a whole bunch of variant covers for current runs that are issued right now. And as soon as I saw him do this cool Shazam cover, I was like, man, I'm getting it. It's making the list. I don't care if I have to eBay the book. I'm taking it with me. And that is the art style Shazam. Where they did one for every character: Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Batman, Superman. Where they just they're supposed to be if they're showing off, the how to do the art, how to do the colors or whatever. And this little in fine print down here, it says, FYI, Shazam's cape isn't transparent. We're just showing you what it would look like if it was. The style guide. That's what it was. I couldn't remember the style guide. But yeah, this is kind of like to, in my opinion, maybe kind of help promote that. Because this is the kind of style that you're going to see, obviously, in the style guide. So, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, I hit him pretty hard this year in a good way, and not with a stick.
Man, I love that. Once again, Tony, I didn't know that book existed. I heard about the style guide. Everyone knows about the legend of Garcia Lopez and how a lot of the merchandising style guides and stuff like that was all Jose Luis Garcia Lopez designs, but I never actually seen an actual version of the style guide, especially on a cover of a comic. So kudos to you on that, man. That's pretty sick. Man, you know what? I didn't realize we're going to be all DC tonight either. That's dope too.
Yeah. I definitely don't do nothing else. But Mr. Lopez is a good. He always has a place in my heart. How to do this, because when I brought my daughter to her first Baltimore Comic Con, it was 2 or 3 years ago, one right after COVID. She came as Wonder Woman, and she stood to me in his line for a minute, and he gave her a free Wonder Woman sketch.
Wow.
And so we framed it. We put it in her bedroom. So she has no clue who he is, but she got a free sketch from Mr. Lopez for nothing.
Man, that is awesome, dude. That's insane.
Yeah,
all right, Gabriel. How you gonna top that?
I got a similar story to that one. we were sitting there getting a little autograph for my son, and up walks Walt Simonson, and he's talking to the artist, and he said, "You're making me look bad that I'm not working." And I said, "Well, you don't have to be jealous. You could draw something in there." And so he picks it up and he draws a Stegosaurus in my son's sketchbook. And I was talking to my son. I was like, "You have no idea what's happening right now, but I'm doing the whole thing." And
yeah, when you're an adult, don't sell this.
All right, this is what I got today: Batman Black and White Omnibus.
Wow,
another thick book. I'm going to take the cover off of this one. I already had a few signatures in here already. So
that's all volumes of the Batman Black and White.
There are some that have come out recently. I think this is like the first series of it. It has, let's see here. Yeah, I don't know how many it has. It probably has over 50 different stories in it. So a lot of artists. So I already had a few on here, but I got 12 more signatures. And this one is chock full now of a bunch of remarks. Okay. So let's start on this side. We got Gene Ha. And talk about a story. Yeah, he signed the black and white book with a purple marker. So everybody else. So anyways.
So you know what I'm talking about with Carl's story.
Yeah. John Workman here. Jose Lopez. I got Stelfreeze. I'll move over here. He did that one right there.
That is awesome.
Stelfreeze.
Is that JG remark in there?
Yeah.
All right, let me.
And John Workman has the best picture in there. John Workman's is the best.
Show up here. At the front.
Yep, I see Howard Chaykin too. Gene Ha, Raphael Albuquerque. Is that Alex Maleev in the middle?
Yeah. Okay. So I got Stelfreeze, Story, Mike Johnson, Jones, Buckingham, Garcia Lopez, Cho, Workman, Chang, and Gene Ha, and Dezago. And I also had in here already. I had
that's badass.
Yeah, Howard Chaykin, Walt Simonson, Klaus Janson, and Michael Golden. So some of them, like I said before, some people will sign a book like this for free. Some of them, like Michael Golden, he won't sign anything without $20 in his hand. So
really? So Michael Golden is $20. He's $20.
Oh yeah.
He was 50. He was here not long ago at a local convention. He was 50.
Man,
really?
That is insane. So how long? Just for the record, how long was that project, Gabriel, to get all those things in that book?
I started this in like February.
Oh, so that's this year. So you gangster, okay?
I got 12. Okay. I got 12 this last weekend, and the other ones I got at Awesome Con basically in February. I think that was in February.
Is that the one in Connecticut? Awesome Con?
That's in DC.
DC.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you guys already know what my last one is, and it's this Burbank.
That's awesome, man.
Burbank 608 variant. Now, what's funny, my goal for 2024 was to get the 608 RRP, and then I messed around and won this. So now I don't even want the RRP anymore because, I mean, hey man, they're like $2,000-$3,000. They weren't that expensive when I was looking at them last, but now they're just so unattainable. But this, I mean, it's kind of unattainable too. And you have that Happy Batman Day signed by Jim Lee. Why, folks? Because I actually got this signed on Batman Day, and this is the Batman statue cover from my neck of the woods, Burbank, California, where I got to take a picture with this in front of it. And so this was that piece de resistance, but also Jeff Loeb is on there too. So I got Jeff Loeb to sign this first earlier Saturday, and then I had Jim Lee conclude. So now I got to get Allison Clare, the Gradient General Allison Clare, and also Scott Williams on this. Man, this is fire and desire, guys. Okay, real quick, rapid fire.
I don't
Huh?
slab books, but that's when I would have gotten slabbed. That's
in a heartbeat.
a great book, man.
I would. You know what's funny? Jeff Lowe begged me to, but here's the thing. I already know. What do I need? Like it was like, what do I need? It's on. You can go on CGC social media and see me. It's there. You can go anywhere and see it. It's there. It's here. What do I need? What do I need? It's right here. So like, if anybody's gonna know who has a raw book, it's gonna be me. And so this one and all the ones that are not in the census, and they're like, oh man, but there's one loose one out there somewhere. Some ranger, some buckaroo named the Six Layer owns one. And I'm like, howdy, partner. All right, rapid fire, Tony. Do all 10 of yours in a row.
Shazam, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Oh, there we go. Boom. Absolute Power, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, JSA foil variant cover from San Diego Comic-Con. King Shark, 1 in 500 free comic book day variant. Signed by, I already forgot. I keep saying Tony Cordos. Scott Collins.
Scott Collins.
Dan Jurgens signing my DC versus Marvel #1. We have G. Willow Wilson signing Poison Ivy #1. Going all the way back to Dan Jurgens for Batman Beyond.
There we go.
Carl Kessel going up
Kessel.
On the Heroes for Hunger.
That's
Wall
insane.
Of Fame. We have,
and you got Bernie on there.
I got Bernie Wrightson on there, yep. And Power Girl Uncovered #1. Signed by a whole bunch of people. Suicide Squad #1. Jim Lee. Very cool cover. And rounding up last but not least, Liam Sharp, Green Lantern on the cool Grant Morrison run. Very cool.
Give my man fire emojis, please. Please. This dude came with it. The Royal of Foils, the Signature King, with his top 10 at Baltimore. And then a first timer on a 6-layer station. My man Gabriel, Pastor Batman 88. Give us all rapid fire. Give us all 10.
All right, I got 12 SIGs on this omnibus, black and white.
Wow.
I got these are not in order, but
no, it doesn't have to be.
Amanda Connor here.
Was that a freebie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Joe Staten. Death the Innocents.
I love that. I gotta
That's
get
my
that
favorite because the pink ink is my favorite.
That's my favorite right there. Damn.
Katie Cook. Batman 50.
Awesome.
That's sick. I love. So that was dedication with that marker.
Yeah, that yellow one.
That's dedication with that marker.
Got champagne on here.
Champagne for your campaign.
Batman 66.
Man, you're doing some serious curls with all that weight, bro.
Yeah.
His forearms are gonna be huge.
Yeah, you have Popeye arms, bro.
Lonely City.
Ah, I love that cliff chain.
And then I got this giant book of
show him, man. I want to see this again. And let's see that Mazzucchelli sig too, because I've never seen one.
He's gonna need a 2-man lift for that book.
Oh my god, it's like the Olympics. Dang.
I gotta make sure I'm not gonna mess up the spine here.
Yeah, that's one of those books you only crack open every now and then.
Yeah.
You got a Mazzucchelli. You crack it open for the 6-layer station.
No, you should have brought it to CGC or CBCS and asked them how much it would have cost to slab it.
All right, here's the Mazzucchelli.
David Mazzucchelli. Oh wow, I see it. Oh wow. And it's
was this part of like a Kickstarter campaign?
No, they did 250 were numbered, and they sold those on the IDW website. But the problem was that they never advertised it. It sold out within hours without even advertising it. So there were a lot of people that were pretty upset. I ordered 2 before I went to bed, and I woke up for some reason at 5 o'clock in the morning and looked at my phone, and they canceled my order. And I was pretty upset. So I went right online and ordered one, and then it was sold out basically within 5 minutes after I did that. So apparently they had I don't know why they canceled my first order, but I'm glad I woke up and reordered it. So, because I would have been, I mean, I've been going to that website every day trying to figure out when they're going to sell these books.
Did David like sign all of them or just a handful?
250 of them.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
that's it.
I've always wanted his signature, and he doesn't do cons. He doesn't really. I don't know if he works in the industry at all. I don't know what.
Man.
I've never met him before, so.
I never met him before, and that's the first time I laid my eyes on actual Mazzucchelli. So, kudos to you, man, and that will be my number one. I mean, especially if all of our favorite artists are like loving that book, loving that they have that book, then that means you got a gold mine there. All right, so rapid fire real quick. Clearly, you guys know about this Burbank 608, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Great book, but I got to say this is not my favorite book, okay? This is getting up there, warming up. This is tight. That Three Jokers, a remark, one of two. Triple Sign, Untold Legend of Batman, signed by Joe Staton this year, but it's also signed by Len Wein and Garcia Lopez. One of my other Jim Lees here, but it's signed by Jeff Johns, George Perez, and Phil Jimenez. This one is signed by Lee Weeks and a bunch of other guys. I love this right here. Joel Jones first. Batman cover with the Bat logo on it. Sick. My most signed book in my collection. This is crazy. But I'm a little bit mad because of the Steve Epting. But I like Steve Epting, though. He's a cool guy. Dang. Kind of chipped away. I got a chip on my shoulder. Then we got, boom, this J.G. Jones signed Batman and Robin #1. I love this book. It's one of my favorite books. And then finally, and I love these crafty comics.
That book is perfect for that.
Yes, that's why I put it on this. I love this. Signed by Walt Simonson and already previously signed by Chris Claremont. So I'm really happy about that. Stash Fam, that concludes our Baltimore recap. Thank you guys for staying so late. You guys are both East Coasters, right?
Yep.
See, the West Coast, they're like, oh, man, what are you guys telling me? You guys are lightweight. It's not too late right now. What time is it right now? Oh, yeah, it's like
11, almost.
Yeah, almost 11. Yeah.
Yeah. So over in LA, it's 8 o'clock. They're like, oh, whatever. This is nothing. You guys are lightweights. Nah, man, it's late. It's late, people. But gentlemen, thank you guys so much for joining. Gotta have you guys back on this. Thank you guys for yes.
Nice to meet you. Yep.
Gabriel, do you have a channel or something that people can follow you on?
Not yet, just Instagram. So
Instagram at Pastor Batman 88. Follow my man at the Signature King on YouTube, right, Tony?
Yep. Signature King on YouTube and Instagram, but I'm pushing 900 subs on YouTube, so I'm trying to maybe make that happen by the end of the year.
Come on, guys, what are we doing? We need to sub to my man Tony's channel, the Signature King, so we can reach that 1K, man.
If you like poorly edited content, I'm your guy.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much. I got one more segment before I go. I'll be hollering at you guys soon. You guys take care.
Thanks, Mike.
Peace.
All right, guys. All right, so before I dip out of here, I like this bigger. There we go. Before I dip out of here, I just want to talk about a couple things before we go, because the 6-Layer channel, I'm on the same tip as Tony. Hey, please, if you can, if you will, head over to YouTube and subscribe to the 6-Layer station. We got a lot of stuff happening. We got a lot of stuff about to come up, and we don't want you guys to miss out, especially if you enjoy comic books, enjoy comic book creators and the comic book creation process, which brings me to the process. You guys got to check this stuff out. This is, David Barron. This is our Batman Day special. David Barron did a Jim Lee piece. This is so dope. Check out the process every Wednesday on the 6-Layer station. We got so much stuff. He's going to be doing published covers. He's going to be doing all kind of stuff, old school covers, old school art from some of your favorite artists and some of the best upcoming artists in all of the land. Please check out the process on the 6 Layer Station. Please subscribe. I'm telling you, it's going to be dope. I'm trying to get this right. What's the best one? There we go. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I got to get used to this thing. StreamYard. There we go. I'll just keep it here or make it full screen for you guys so you can check out everything. Check out the process. We got a Terminator episode about to drop on Wednesday. So every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, check out the process, guys, because it's going to be bangerific. Trust me. What else I wanted to talk about? Oh, I wanted to talk about not Baltimore Comic-Con, but Jason Fabok is going to be joining us next week on the 6 Layer Station, and he's going to be talking about his Ghost Machine endeavors, as well as a lot of stuff from his career, like the Three Jokers and his collaboration with David Finch and Jeff Johns. But we really get into the Rook Exodus and his goals and the origin stories of Rook Exodus. So this is going to be one of my bucket list interviews of the year, because Jason Fabok is one of those guys that, he's just a supremely talented artist. And so I was really, really pleased to get a chance to interview him and to ask some questions I've always wanted to ask. So check out this interview Thursday on the 6 Layer Station at 4 p.m. I'm sorry, 2 p.m. Pacific as well. So everything's 2 p.m. Pacific. Thursday, the 6 Layer Station, 6 Layers, episode 53, featuring Jason Fabok. And then we had another pleasant surprise today. Today's been a phenomenal day. But today, we also interviewed Jim Starlin. So we have Jim Starlin on the channel. I can't believe it. Just only a couple days after Baltimore Comic-Con, we get the legend Jim Starlin. And I gotta say, there's a difference between reading the stories and then talking to the actual creators and finding out what it took to create these stories, and especially the creators from the Bronze Age and the 80s, the Copper Age. And as the industry was kind of evolving into what it is today, and just hearing the different stories. And Jim Starlin is, to me, the word that came to mind was maverick. I mean, the dude was a maverick, is a maverick. And so I definitely want you guys to check out that, because it's going to be awesome. I can't believe it. We just interviewed him today, so that's going to be a couple weeks away. But the interview with Jason Fabok, that's going to be on Thursday, this upcoming Thursday, on the 6 Layer Station, only on the 6 Layer Station at 2 p.m. Pacific. So definitely check that out, guys. I'm about to get up out of here. I just want to thank all the people that have joined in the chat: Magic Lasso, Honorable Villain, Speed Mike, couple other heads on IG. We saw a guy from Brazil come up in the mix. So I just want to thank all the people that joined tonight. And please follow Stash Wars Comics, 6 Layers, 6 Layer Station on YouTube. We're going to be having a ton of stuff. And let me just put it up again one last time. Check out The Process featuring David Barron on Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Pacific. We got a Terminator episode. And I don't know if you guys saw that Terminator on Netflix. It's fire. So we're feeling Terminator-ish right now. And so please tell us what you think about The Process every week on the 6 Layer Station. Well, guys, that's all for our show. If you like what you see, please subscribe and hit the like button. I'm Mike, the 6 Layer. I got to say what up to my man, Mark, the Honorable Villain. Get well soon. I'm out. Peace.